come to the conclusion of our triple header and to the halfway stage of the FIA Formula 3 Championship, and to very familiar territory for most of the field out there. It's time to go out on track at Barcelona.
See what those new drivers can do this weekend.
Yeah, we really do. Now, all drivers have gone out for the virtual safety car test, and most of them are coming back in. There's a good chance we may not see them for a little while because they all know this track very well, Piers. That might not be the case. We might see them go out and get some track time in, but this could be a race or a practice session. We see some drivers take their time in terms of letting the clock run down. So we have prepared for this, haven't we, Piers? Just in case. Let's take you on a journey where we are so far in terms of this season, because last week race at Monaco did shake up the championship standings. Let's just remind you of that order. Rafa Kamara does lead. He's on 77 points. Second is Tim Tramnitz. Then it is Nicolas Solov, now with a record-breaking 5 wins. He's the only driver in FIA Formula 3 history since this championship began here in 2019. We then had our 100th for the crowd behind him to urge him forward. I'm glad we're seeing this right now, because Rodin is the next team we're going to come on to. What a season they're having. All three drivers in the top 10 at Monaco, and Louis Sharp was one of them. He was actually, if you watch the Chasing the Dream and a little bit of social media, he was getting the support of Liam Lawson. I saw Louis Sharp, who is becoming a fan of young Louis Sharp.
Which he's shown it in previous championship years.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to have a stronger second half of the year if everything goes to plan.
He was a vice champion in Freca. Now, here we go, cars on track. We'll go through the rest of the teams shortly, but for now, here they come. The cars making their way out into the circuit. The drivers have waited, isn't it, Piers, to get that record number of wins. You've been a driver, you competed at single-seaters, Formula 3 level. How does it feel to, when you can say you have that statistic, that record next to your name? I'm sure it must give that extra special feeling.
In circuit now, Rafa Kamara, the driver that's had pole position 3 times already this year, our championship leader, sets purple sectors. Doesn't mean a huge amount so far because we haven't had that many people have a representative time so far, but as always in this season, we're seeing that Trident car very well balanced, and Rafa Kamara finding the limits already on his first flying lap. His first sector's been beaten by someone else on circuit, but look at the amount of sliding going through the final corner. There's a lot of rotation in that car at medium and high speed.
Flying later, we reverse the top 12 places for tomorrow's sprint race, and then it will be as they qualify for feature race Sunday. This one of the places where track limits comes into account, those final 2 corners, isn't it, Piers?
No doubt. There's a few places on this Barcelona circuit as Justi goes second place, 3/10 behind Kamara at the moment. Within the confines there, that was the MP Motorsport driver, I think, of Del Pino.
Right on cue. Ivan Dominguez, this one of the most challenging corners now, obviously reprofiled in recent years. Running wide there, Ivan Dominguez.
You guys have there, which may look good and shows off your car control, but not exactly conducive to fast lap times.
So, the Campos Racing team have done 1 flying lap, and they're coming straight into pit lane. Interesting stuff. In terms of the top 10, it's Kamara, Giusti, Boyer, Stenchon, Tramnitz, Intrapuvizak, Wirtz, Roisin, Ramos, Solov. If we were to do the top 12, it would be Stromstead and Wharton on reverse grid pole. Know this place very well. They'll have the confidence to be able to set this up. It is a new car, but I think they can go on that 3 days of testing and feel confident enough with what they learned then to be able to just go out in that qualifying session with limited practice.
Yeah, it's a new car, so the teams, as the season goes, are learning more and more about how to get the most out of this.
On the start-finish straight, and it's going to be P26 for the American. Teofil Nile is going to come across the line in the background and go P12. So that's going to be Teofil Nile. Good time for him. Back straight. Oh, sharp as well.
Yeah, that's that turn 9 corner. Pretty much flat out in qualifying, but only if you get the line exactly right. And you can see Sharp there for the Rodin Motorsport team. Just going a little bit too much speed, going beyond track limits, and put the hill hard on the brakes. You have to trail the brakes into the corner, take a bit of curb to the right, and then you run it all the way to the exit of turn 2. This turn 3 goes on for what feels like forever. If you run a bit too wide like Wirtz does there, you can get off the rubbered line and the car can squirm around. That's where a lot of the damage comes on the front left tyres. Number 10. That was a DRS zone down there, and it will be in the races. This is a corner, and again, that goes on for what feels like forever. Now we head into the technical sort of second half of that final sector. Track limits on the exit as the Trident car bottoms out a lot. The car hitting the deck on the exit, and a pretty solid lap for Alex Wirtz, not Alex Wirtz, that's his father,
Yeah.
Charlie Wirtz.
Yes.
My apologies.
Nice stuff, Piers Pride. Thanks for talking us round. That was the slide.
There we go. Great car control, but as you can see, the black marks being left behind the car is rubber off the tyres. That's what the drivers will be hoping to avoid.
Well, Mary Boyer is out now with 14.5 minutes. You feel that would be his session over. I mean, it doesn't look like he's going to go any further. He feels like he's happy with this, and the pit lane is full.
In this new Dallara Formula 3 car, to him and to the championship, having not done the pre-season testing that a lot of the drivers have, and he'll just be trying to get a feel for things, figure out how the car responds to his inputs, what it needs to actually get the lap time out of it.
To go out, Alessandro Giusti and Tim Tramnitz, and this would all be run plans for people watching at home if they're watching a Formula 3 practice session for the first time. This is something from your experience, Piers, you will just go through in your plan before. We're going to go at this time exactly, and this is a plan we're going to run to. Due to the sheer amount of time that drivers have spent in the pit lane in this session, but here we go. Tramnitz is going to take us across the line for another lap. Brando Badaware we saw going around 18th. This could be a good chance for him to get himself up and a good result this weekend at a track where Prema have famously gone so well.
It's raised yellow curve through the middle of turn 8. Looks like he got away with it that time, but you won't be seeing the drivers wanting to do that on their fastest lap. You can see going directly and straddling the in circuit. Getting an experience of how the car feels on those used tyres will be valuable to them, but it's also valuable that they have at least a couple of brand new sets for qualifying, so they can have 2 proper flying runs at it, as we often see the times drop dramatically throughout the qualifying session.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, he's got a lot of traffic up ahead of him as we come through turns 7 and 8 that we saw Tramnitz have a little for earlier moment ago. And then again, another miscommunication. Noel Lil having to get hard on the anchors to avoid any potential issues there.
Towards turn 10.
Yeah, braking and turning into here. Nips a lot of the curve at the apex, and then a big snap of oversteer through the middle, and that runs him wide. And this is similar to we saw one of the VAR drivers do earlier on. As soon as you get off that line, turn 3 down towards turn 4.
And this might give us a little bit of a view of the challenge they're doing, and this is looking like a good lap, actually. That's a PB for Inchapuvazak. Let's stay with it.
Yeah, may well have put on some new tyres, but just going through turn 4 there, you could see the rubber being thrown off that front left tyre. You can see a bit of the pickup there if you're looking down at that front left tyre. We run on board now down towards turn number 7 and 8. This is where Tramnitz had an issue a moment ago. Drops downhill at the apex and uphill through the middle and exit. And downforce on these cars to try and keep that front left in some good shape towards the end of a run. And he's going to get blocked in the final corner, turn 14 here. So that would have definitely cost him some time. Not exactly representative, but not a bad time. A 1:30.5 from Inchapuvazak.
And this is a track that a lot of them call home in terms of racing in the junior formula. Whoa, Giusti. Wow.
Taking the Joker lap on the exit of turn 9 there.
Yes.
Of course, there are no Joker laps in Formula 3.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Harrison Tibbett YouTube channel. Today we had the F3 practice session, and as kind of foreseen, a little bit boring with a lot of these drivers and teams having gone here for testing. Pre-season testing, post-season testing. So yeah, a bit boring because all these drivers have taken these cars around this track for 3 days at the end of last season, at the start of this season. So yeah, a little bit boring of a session. I think everyone had one representative lap, with Kamara coming out on top, Giusti behind him, and Mary Boyer in third. But either way, it's just one lap, and it's kind of indicative of those guys feeling very confident to start. But I think qualifying will be the place where it all comes together and they put on their best tyres to see who can go fastest. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a surprise going to qualifying, but I think either way we know that Kamara, Boyer, Giusti are going to do well, these kind of guys at the top of the championship. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know if you like this video. Peace.